The hypotheses of the Peter Principle. The Peter Principle, like all economic models, is based on hypotheses that are useful to investigate. If we only look at the most important, these include, but are not limited to: the hierarchical structure of a company is naturally in the form of a pyramid. This simplified view shows the strictly defined hierarchical levels. Basic workers are led by a few managers, who are themselves managed by even fewer superior executives, and so on. Back to a certain time, and companies are currently much more flexible organizations that work from a project or network, for example. The strongest and most controversial hypothesis is what the book refers to as the Peter hypothesis. The level of competence required for a higher hierarchical position is completely independent of the competence required for a hierarchically inferior position. If an employee is the most suitable for a position and is promoted to a higher level, his level of competence after that promotion is completely unpredictable. According to Jean-Paul Delahaye, French computer scientist and mathematician, born in 1952, if we accept these simplistic assumptions, we are logically assuming that all promotions have a tendency to reduce an employee's performance due to two effects. The ratchet effect: backtracking is impossible as an employee cannot be demoted. If he is competitive, he will continue to climb the ladder and will not remain in a position where he is efficient. The movement will effectively continue until he reaches a level that is too high, in which he is no longer efficient. The employee is then stuck at this level and cannot be demoted nor continue to rise. The statistical effect of regressing towards the average, of the principle of statistical distribution, during a random, normal event, the probability of achieving a result close to average is higher than getting a very high or very low result. Thus, the company, which is fortunate enough to be able to count on an employee that is well above average competency and decides to change their position, once again determines the competence of the employee with a good chance of achieving an average result. Behind the hypotheses of the Peter Principle lies an inconvenient truth: over time, each position is increasingly likely to be occupied by an incompetent employee, while the higher up a position is in the hierarchy, the more important it is to the overall performance of the structure. This does not mean that the base of the pyramid is any less essential to the proper functioning of the business than the top. It is in fact the reverse. Put simply, if we accept the pyramid structure and place equal emphasis on each level, a position has more importance for the overall performance when there are fewer positions within that level. For example, if there are 2 managers for 5 employees, the individual competence of the manager AC counts for 50% of the performance of its hierarchical level, while the individual performance of each employee only accounts for 20%. In the hypotheses of the Peter Principle, particularly that of the ratchet effect, it seems clear that every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence, so that the natural balance of a structure is that each position is occupied by someone who cannot bear the responsibilities.